Good Monday morning, everybody. This is a pattern update, and after following this stuff the last couple of days, I think I'm starting to get a handle on what's going on here. Again, the negative sediment continues on a blowtorch coming for Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and although we will see some moderation, and noticeable moderation, and even warm temperatures by the weekend, I can't sit here and tell you that that pattern is going to be sustainable, because it's simply not going to be sustainable. I think we have to use a little bit of common sense here and understand that models are models. They will shift around, but there's key parts of models you look at to try to get an idea using some sort of forecastability on what's going to happen. So this is an example of all the negative sediment. Okay, so this is a GFS model. This is from a few days ago, and this trend was continuing where people say, okay, oh my God, we have all this warm air coming in from the south after Christmas. All the cold air is hanging back over the west. Blowtorch, winter's over. But there's key things you have to look at. Like you have to look at a pattern, like the high pressures in the Gulf of Alaska, which is a negative EPO pattern. And you say to yourself, well, what should a pattern like that do? Well, this is a great graphic I found online. And a pattern like that, and this is backed by also a lot of other research, sources cold air directly from the Arctic into the country. Yes, it does center more towards the center of the country. However, it does bleed east. Okay, you're not getting a big ridge to pop up in the east like we're seeing on some of these model projections. Also, you look at other things like the Madden-Julian Oscillation, which is a area of tropical thunderstorm, which could influence the jet stream. Where those thunderstorms will be located should result in a pattern like this. Okay, so going back to this image that everybody's panicking about, you say to yourself, you know what? Something doesn't make too much sense here. Yes, there could be some ridging, but this extent doesn't make sense. So now you wake up this morning, and what do the models show? So after you wake up this morning, oh, what do you know? That trough is now more east and looks more like that negative EPO pattern. Now, I expect that this will continue to go back and forth a little bit. So if another ridge pops up tomorrow, I really don't care, because I really do think that the amount of cold air coming into this pattern around Christmas is going to be so overwhelming that our problem's not going to be warm air in the east. It's going to be a suppressed storm track. I really do believe that. So if we look at how cold these temperatures really are going to be, I mean, this is double-digit negatives the day after Christmas. You can see that cold air bleeding to the east. So this big warm-up, just to go back a little bit, is going to be caused by a storm system that cuts to our west later this week. It is going to run into a lot of high pressure, so I don't think it's going to drive right up into Canada, but it should come up just past the lakes and skirt on out to the east. And I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe even northern areas of New England and the mountains actually don't see all rain from this. But it's not going to put you in the Christmas spirit, to say the least, on Saturday. But Christmas Day, there could be a miracle on the table. There is a wave that could develop as this cold air really presses. Like I showed you in that second image, we could see a little wave of low pressure develop and give snow for Christmas Day. I'm a little hesitant right now to say that's going to happen, because I really do think this cold air can just overwhelm the pattern and ends up being dry. But again, Christmas Day and on will not be warm, okay? And in fact, the period after Christmas to New Year's should be very, very below average in many areas, especially even over to the east. It will feel like winter, and there'll be a shot for a storm or two. I really think that. So I wouldn't panic yet, or I wouldn't panic at all. And again, Christmas Day, we do have a shot for some energy from the south to run into all this cold air that's pressing from the north, which I showed here, and again, to give a little wave where you can get some snow, and then it's just cold afterwards. So let's see what happens. I do have some pretty good conviction in this guy, so I'm not going to be jumping on models if they look warm again, unless, again, it's December 24th and the whole thing looks different. So that's it for now. More posts to come.